Hello dear students, good morning to all of you. As we have discussed about the different types of public sector enterprise, in which we have discussed departmental undertakings, government company and statutory company. Now today we will discuss about the changing role of the public sector, and regarding in this change we will discuss it in two objectives, or we will discuss it to achieve two types of objective. First, changes was made to achieve the objective to speed up the economic growth of the country, and second is to achieve a more equitable distribution of income and wealth among the people. So dear students, these were two basic objectives which was adopted by public sector, and changes has been made, or the role of the public sector has been changed so that these two objectives can be fulfilled. The role and the importance of the public sector changed with time. Its role over a period of time can be summarized as follows. So dear students, first of all, the first role of the change in public sector was development of infrastructure. As we know, at the time of independence, India suffered from acute shortage of heavy industries such as engineering, iron and steel, oil refineries, heavy machineries, etc. So because of huge investment requirement and long gestation period, dear students, at the time of independence, these were not available in India, and due to acute shortage of these industries, India were suffering from growth and development, especially India was suffering from infrastructural development of the country. So for making the infrastructural development in the country, public sector rule was changed. And second, the regional balance. Earlier, most of the development was limited to few areas like port towns for providing employment to the people and for accelerating economic development of backward areas. Many industries were set up by public sector in those areas so that regional imbalance can be removed and regional balance can be established. And third was the economies of scale, in which in certain industries like electric power plant, natural gas, petroleum, etc., huge capital and large base are required to function economically. Such areas were taken up by the public sector so that these industries can become economically strong and can fulfill the huge amount of capital or large amount of capital, and can be established or can provide its services in the country. Now, the control of monopoly and restrictive trade practices, we are talking about MRTP Act. So these enterprises were also established to provide competition to private sector, because as we know that private sectors were trying to establish their monopoly in the market, and for restricting them or for prohibiting them to do so, or to give them challenge to establish the monopoly in the market, public sectors were established and enhanced. Now, the import substitution was also there, that the public enterprise were also engaged in production of capital equipment which were earlier imported from other country. At the same time, public sector companies like STC and MMTC have played an important role in expanding exports of the country. So very important role was assigned to public sector, but performance was far from satisfactory, which forced government to do rethinking on public enterprises, and that's why the changes has been made in the role of the public sector. So after getting some problems, after getting the role of the public sector and hindrance in the way of performance of the role of the public sector, the government of India has introduced the new industrial policy 1991 by making some major changes by making some major changes, or we can say by making some reforms in Companies Act or Industrial Act. So first change was reduction in number of industries reserved for public sector. As we know, there is number of this number is reduced from 17 to 8 and to 3 only in 2001. As we know that total 17 sectors were under the hand of public sectors. Now, first of all, these were reduced to 8. It means 9 sectors were set aside free so that it can be privatized and work smoothly, or can perform its work in healthy way. And in 2001 it was reduced and was contained, or was remained only in 3. These 3 industries are atomic energy, arms and rail and transport. Now the second one thing, that is memorandum of understanding. Under this, government lays down performance target for public sector and gives greater autonomy to hold the management, but held accountable for specified results. And third was disinvestment, and that was equity share of public sector enterprise were sold to private sector and public sector. So it was expected that this would lead to improved managerial performance and better financial discipline in the public sector enterprise. And fourth changes were, that was restructural and revival. In this term, dear students, all public sectors SIC units were referred to Board of Industrial Financial Reconstruction BIFR, which was established on 1959, and unit which were potentially viable were restricted and which could not be reviewed were closed down by the board. These reconstruction board were established so that if any sick units are there, so that it can be taken up, or it can be repaired, or it can be treated to become healthy again and established in the market by the board. So dear students, in public sector in 1991 few reforms were there which we have studied. Now if we were studying these things, we find some terms, that is multinational companies, global enterprises, like these things are. So first of all, today we will discuss again the next topic, that is multinational company or global enterprise. So dear students, first of all we should have to know about the multinational company, that what is multinational company and how it can be defined. So dear students, a multinational company can be defined that the business operation in several countries by having its factories, branches or offices in house in those countries, but but it has its headquartered in one country in which it is incorporated. For example, Philips, Coca-Cola, Tata, Reliance. These all are a kind of multinational company. These all companies are doing the business all over the world. These all are having its factories and branches and offices all over the world. But these are going to be controlled by the headquarter, and that is only from that country in which it is incorporated. Like Tata and Reliance is incorporated in India, therefore it is going to be controlled and incorporated, going to be controlled by the India. Now if we are talking about the features, so dear students, huge capital resources is there, because in MNCs possesses huge capital resources and they are able to raise lot of funds from various sources. And second is international operation. Dear students, MNCs has production, marketing and other facilities in several countries. And if we are talking about the centralized control, so MNCs have headquarters in their home countries from where they exercise control over all branches and subsidiaries. So it provides only board policy framework to them, and there is no interference in their day-to-day operation. So it is going to be centralized control. There is no decentralization of power. The policy and plans are going to be prepared by the head office. Now, the next term, that is foreign collaboration. Usually they enter into agreement relating to sale of technology, production of goods, use of brands name, etc. with local firm in the host country. It means in those countries where the companies are going to be established. Now, the next term, that is advanced technology. Dear students, so in the term of advanced technology, these organization possesses advanced and superior technology from technology which enable them to provide world-class product and services. And the next feature of the MNCs, that is product innovations. Dear students, MNCs have highly sophisticated research and development departments, and therefore these are engaged in developing new products and superior design of existing products. Today we can see so many brands are there in the market, and these all are producing a fabulous product by its design and quality. So it is going to be done due to product innovation made by them. Continuously they are engaged on it and they are working on it, they are researching on it. Next is marketing strategies. MNCs use aggressive marketing strategies. Their brands are well known and spend huge amount of advertisement and sales promotion. So due to aggressive marketing strategies, these organizations are surviving in the market. Whenever they are going to launch their new product, they are going to make more and more advertisement and sales promotion of that particular product. That's why it reached to the mind of the people, and the people starts demanding. The people start demanding. Now, in the series of multinational company or global companies, we find one thing, that is joint venture. So, dear students, joint venture is basically two or more independent firms are combining together or joining together to establish a new enterprise by pooling their capital, technology, expertise. For example, we can take the example that Hero Cycle of India and Honda Motors Company of Japan jointly establishes Hero Honda. Similarly, Suzuki Motor Company of Japan and Maruti Company of Indian government come together and formed Maruti Udyog. So these are the examples of joint venture where two or more companies from different countries are combining together in any host country and sharing their technologies, expertise to establish a new enterprise or new term. Now we find the following features from of the joint venture, that is capital is provided jointly by government and private sector enterprise. Second, management may be entrusted by the private entrepreneurs. Third, that is it combines both social and profit objectives. And fourth, it is responsible to the government and private investors both. Now if we are talking about the benefit of the joint venture, so there are lots of benefits of the joint venture. First is greater resources and capacity, as the companies are combining together to enable their growth and development quickly and efficiently. Therefore it has the resources and capacity more and more. Next is it can access to advance the technology, and due to sharing of the technology it can access or improve the quality of the product with cheapest cost. Now access to new market and distribution network. As we know, a foreign company gain access to the vast Indian market by entering into joint venture with Indian company. So it can also take advantage of the well-established distribution system of local firms. Now if we are talking about the innovation, so as we know that the foreign partners in joint venture have the idea and technology to develop innovation or innovative products and services. So they have an advantage in highly competitive demanding market. Now if we are talking about the low cost of production, as we have already discussed that in a joint venture technologies and expertise are going to be collaborated or combined. Therefore, due to combination of the different technology and expertise, the goods or the product can be manufactured at low cost with high quality of the design. Now well-known brand names, when one party has well established and brand and goodwill and other party gets its benefit, so product of such brand names can be easily launched in the market. Now after the joint venture, this is also a kind of joint venture, but we cannot say it as joint venture. This is public private partnership. It is different from the joint venture. Basically it means an enterprise in which a project or service is financed and operated through a partnership of government and private enterprise. In joint venture, any two companies can make its joint venture, or which can be from different countries too. But in public private partnership, only in the same countries, if the government and private companies or private enterprises are combining together, then it is called public private partnership. So basically it facilitates the partnership between public sector and private sector, and it pertaining high priority project, like it is used for so many times outsourcing of the people, human resource who are required for the job. And thereafter the next term, that is like we can take example that in Bihar, when human resources were required, then so many different organizations combined together, like Veltron, Vani System Enterprises. These have combined with the government to provide the human resource, or to make the outsourcing of the human resource for the government. So this is a kind of high priority project. Whenever it is required, it is fulfilled by the private sector to the public sector. Next is suitable for big project. As we know that capital intensive and heavy industries it is required, because if big projects are there, like railway construction or railway overbridge construction or road construction, or road overbridge constructions are there, so it needs heavy capital. So for big project, there are so many private companies or private companies who are working with the government companies. Now the next term, that is public welfare. So dear students, basically public private partnership is entertained because the motive is to provide the public welfare, or to accelerate the public welfare, or to enhance the public welfare. Until or unless the public welfare is not there, then public and private sector cannot be a partner, or partnership cannot be established. One of the most important example of this public welfare, that is Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. This is the partnership of public sector and private sector. Now next feature is sharing. Next feature is fifth point, that is sharing revenue. As we know, revenue is shared between government and private enterprise in the agreed ratio, because both of them are working and their shares are fixed. So dear students, today we have discussed about the joint venture, public private partnership, and changing role of the government, and the merits and demerits and importance of the multinational companies or global enterprises. So today we have sum up this 3 chapter revision. Thank you.